Hey guys! Here's a quick video I thought I would throw together of an interesting game I had last night in Magic the Gathering Arena. So I'm playing in the Brawl format, Linvala Shield of Seagate. And if you haven't seen me play that deck before, I put together a bunch of videos and I'll link to the playlist on the top right corner of the one that you're watching. But please, finish this one first. I promise it won't take long. Anyways, my opponent, their commander is Dina Soul Steeper. And basically she dings me, the opponent, one life for every time they gain life. Dina also, for 1 mana, allows them to sack a creature and get plus X of that creature's power to Dina. But basically they're just trying to ding me for life whenever they gain it. So they have another few key interesting pieces in their deck. They have Prosperous Innkeeper, so that's whenever a creature enters the battlefield, they're getting 1 life. So you know the drill. They're gaining life, I'm losing life. And another key piece is Mask of Grizzlebrand. So whenever that is equipped on a creature, that creature gains flying and lifelink. So if you don't have an aerial defense, or if you have one but it's not enough to kill the equipped creature, they're gaining life, and like I said, I'm losing life. And a few other key pieces they had were Tend the Pests, which they combo nicely with Dina. So Dina sacked a couple of creatures and then sacked Dina herself into Tend the Pests. So they created a bunch of pests with Dina's power. So at that time it was 5. So they have 5 pests, and they can recast Dina because at this point they've got enough mana, and we're pretty late into the game. So they're throwing the pests at me, hoping that one way or another I'm taking direct damage by killing the pests, or just letting it through. But whatever the case, they're gonna hurt me. And normally I do good against Dina decks because I have a bunch of life gain in mine, and I have a lot of big creatures too. So I'm hoping to draw into them, and I just wasn't drawing into it. So I earlier threw down the Book of Exalted Deeds. And that card saved the game for me. It saved the bacon, or however you want to put it. And that is basically, I threw it in there because I love angels. And if you haven't seen my videos before, there it is. So yeah, the Book of Exalted Deeds gives me angels at the beginning of my end step if I gain 3 or more life, and the angels are 3/3s. But the one thing that I realized was that if I exile the book, I could dump it on an angel, and my opponent can't win the game, and I can't lose the game. So I dump it on Youthful Valkyrie, hoping that every time I create an angel that they get pumped up. But I also have Linvala, so Linvala basically, if Youthful Valkyrie is targeted, I'll just sack Linvala and give all my creatures hexproof or indestructible, depending on what the situation is. So my opponent gets into this crazy combo where they also had Scoot Swarm, and Scoot Swarm is whenever you drop a land, they create a green insect token. And if they control 6 or more lands, they create a token that's a copy of Scoot Swarm. So it gets crazy. You'll see it here, and I'm worried that I'm gonna time out because no fault of my own, or maybe it is, because I let the game probably get to this crazy level. Anyways, the program, the game is counting for all the Scoot Swarms, so it's taking time. But my opponent can swing as much as he wants into me, but and you see, like, we get to a crazy level, like minus 105, and he still can't win the game. So at that point, I think they realize that they probably know their deck, that all their answers are already in the graveyard because they digged, and you'll see that they had a lot of stuff in the graveyard because of the digging, and they're down to a few cards left. At one point it's at 12, I think, and then my opponent just gives up. So that was a whole lot of fun. Normally I don't let the games get into this kind of state. I realize what they're trying to go for, my opponent, and I just concede. But for some reason I let it play out, and I wanted to see how they would get rid of the Book of Exalted Deeds. And there's ways, like I'm prone to Meat Hook Massacre or any -X spells, but like I said, maybe my opponent didn't put it in their deck, and all they had were lands left, or they just weren't drawing any answers. But whatever the case, they got frustrated and they left. So my question to you guys is, I'm not big on the rules. I think that if my opponent can't draw any more cards, that I would have won the game. I won anyways because they just timed out. They just probably were frustrated that they couldn't get through to hurt my Youthful Valkyrie and end the game. So my question to you is, am I correct? If they can't draw any more cards, I still win the game? Because I had a whole bunch left. You'll see, like, I had a bunch left. Anyways, hope you enjoyed the video, and thank you for watching. Oh, and one more thing. If you got something to say, go down below and
Enter your name, pilot.